Hello friends, welcome back. So today's video is going to be something that I'm going to try to do. It's called Makeup Mondays. So we're going to talk about all things beauty related. That includes makeup, hair care, skincare, all that good stuff, all on one day of the week. Let's pray on that. People have been asking me more and more lately for a go-to makeup tutorial or makeup routine. By no means am I any kind of a guru, but we're gonna try and do this anyway. The one benefit to this tutorial is that it is very beginner friendly. Keep watching. I have extremely dry skin, like Gobi Desert dry. Remember, we talked about this, dry skin and dry hair. I've already moisturized my face with the Arbonne RE9 Advanced Intensive Renewal Serum and the Arbonne RE9 Advanced Extra Moisture Restorative Day Cream. I love these things so much. I don't always prime my face. When I do prime my face, however, I like to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer because it has like a silicone base. Feels really good on the skin and really smooths out my pores, fills them in, and just makes your face look more flawless. But right now I am using the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer, and I just do like one pump, like literally, and I just separate it under my eyes a little bit, forehead, a little on my nose, and then I just rub that in, and whatever's left over I'll put on my eyelids. Now, when I'm doing my makeup, I always start with the most important thing on my face, the eyebrows, or lack thereof. We're not going to magically create new eyebrows, but we are going to use our existing hairs and the existing shape of our eyebrows to fill in and emphasize them. So it is important that you have some kind of shape to your eyebrow. You can use tweezers or you can get them waxed, it's up to you. I just like to get them waxed every few months, so maybe like every 3 months, and then I will use tweezers to clean them up. But today I'm just going to brush them upward just so that I can see the shape a little better. I do have eyebrow hair on my face, I promise you they're there, but they're just very fine and very light. So I'm going to literally use the shape in the existing hairs to fill in and emphasize. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw an outline of the existing eyebrow. So I'm just going to go under and really draw out that bottom boundary all the way to the end. And I'm going to do the same thing on the top. You want to get as close as possible to the actual eyebrow, to the top of your eyebrow hairs. You see how, look at the difference already. We ain't even there yet. Then I'm going to do a little bit just right outside of the eyebrow, just closing off that boundary to really making it one unified shape. And it's okay if you mess up because we are going to go in and clean it up after. And then I just do short strokes following the direction that the hair is going. I use my pinky as like a support. And then I'll just go ahead and brush again to make sure that the artificial hairs are now blending in with the actual hairs. And again, once I have a general shape, it does not have to be super neat, because like I said, we are going to go in and clean it up. I'm going to move on to the next eyebrow and do the same. And voila, we have some sort of an eyebrow. So now that we've drawn on our eyebrows, we want to make sure we clean it up so we get like a really nice look. Now, I like to use concealer for this. You can use your foundation, you can use a concealer that's closer to your skin tone, but I use one concealer for my entire look. And that is the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Toffee. I cannot live without this. Like, this is, if there was one makeup product, it would be between this and eyebrows, and my eyebrow pencil. And the eyebrow pencil, I didn't tell you guys, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Perfect Brow Pencil in dark brown. I'm going to be fancy and try to open this new pack for you guys. So we're going to take our concealer, whatever you're going to use to clean up your eyebrows, something not too bright, and a flat brush. This is the MAC 212, I believe, and we're going to just get a little bit on the brush. Literally just going to take just on the tip of the brush. I don't even know if you can see that. See how little that is? It's like the tiniest bit. Follow right under where we drew that first boundary. So I'm going to do this side first so you guys can see. And then I like to just drag the concealer down so it's not too heavy. This will also mask any hairs or like little bumps or anything that you might have from waxing or threading or just leftover, you know, hairs that are growing in. Just drag that down and kind of blend it out a little bit. So it's not too stark, but it is a lot cleaner. Gonna dip again, just a little bit into our concealer and do the same on the other brow. And dragging down. There we go. And then we're going to take the excess, whatever's left on the brush. I don't like to use too much for this part. And we're going to do the same on the top. Remember, they are sisters, not twins, okay? So it's okay if they're not exactly the same. And then I just like to brush up one more time. And then we're done with the brows. Moving on, I do not wear liquid foundation. I don't like the way it makes my face look. So I move right along to my eyes. And so I'm gonna take that same concealer that we just used, LA Girl, and apply some directly to my eyelid. You can go a little bit above your eyelid as well, because the eyeshadow is gonna hit. This is what I use as my eyeshadow primer. Then I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm going to just spread that a little bit. You just want to make sure that it's even enough. You don't want to blend it out too much because you want the eyeshadow to stick to it, but you don't want it to be clumpy anywhere. Next thing you want to do is just set your concealer. Set the concealer that you use for your eyeshadow just to help the eyeshadow stick a little bit. I'm just going to use my powder foundation, which is MAC NW45, MAC Studio Fix Foundation in NW45. Boom. All right. Now, for the eyeshadow, I pretty much do the same look every single time. It's usually sometimes just a variation of color, but the technique is always the same. I am going to show you guys the look that I do almost every single time I do my makeup, whether it's daytime, nighttime, afternoon, brunch, tea, doesn't really matter, church, party, it's always the same. It's my go-to number one and my favorite look. And for this look, I am going to be using mainly this palette. This is the Crayon Case Box of Crayons eyeshadow palette. You probably have seen this palette going around the internet. It is just as dope as people say it is. The first color that we're going to use is going to be this one right here in the middle. It's called Tan. So we're going to use this. This is going to be our transition color. So you want to get a brush that is pretty fluffy for this part. I am going to be using my Luxie brush. This is the tapered brush and this is number 205. I'm just going to take my brush and I'm going to dip it right into my palette, right into this tan color, and just swirl it on both sides. And then I'm going to go in to the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to start right here and I'm going to go just above the crease. I'm going to blend that out just above the crease. Just right into, almost blending it right into where we blended out our concealer, where our concealer ended for our eyebrows. I'm just gonna blend this out. My eyebrow hairs are going rogue. I'm gonna dip in again and do the same to the other side. Starting right at the corner and blending upward and right above the crease. And you want to go all the way to about 3/4 into your eye. Once you have that nice and blended, we're going to take another brush. I'm going to use my Luxie 229 tapered blending brush, which is just a smaller tapered blending brush. It's just not as wide as the 205 that we just used. And we're gonna dip that right into the color right on top of tan, which is brown. So you're gonna use any deep brown that you have. You can use any deep brown that you have, but it's almost like we're going to create basically a smoky eye, but we don't want to smoke it out too harshly, so we don't want to use a color like black or something that's too dark, because again, this is like my go-to day or night vibe. So just in case you're doing this daytime, again, you want to use something that is darker but not too dark. So I found that a dark brown is the perfect color. So we're going to go right the same spot we started that the tan transition color. We're gonna place our color right there as well. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a V. So this is going to be in the crease and close and above. So we're going to start out this way. So blending it slightly onto your eyelid and then into your crease and above. And just blend, blend, blend. And you want to blend that into your transition color. Depending on the time of day that you're doing this, if you are doing this at night, you can go a little darker. You can add more of the brown, or you can add a darker color. If you happen to feel like it's a little heavy, you can just take that 205. I'm going to take my 205 taper blending brush, but you can take whatever brush you use for your transition color, go back in and just blend that out on the top again, so the line is not too harsh. You're just going to continue blending, blend, 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 blend for your line. And again, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Create that V and blend inward. If you mess up or it comes out a little messy, like this eye is clearly coming out a lot messier than this eye, don't worry about it, because we are going to clean it up. And then now for the third color, I always like to do a golden smoky eye. It's my favorite look. In the box of Crayon palette, there is a gold. It is a shimmer and it is a true gold. Watch it for you guys. It's gold. It's as gold as this background. But for my skin tone and for my undertones, I prefer more of a champagne than a straight on gold. And since there is no champagne in this palette, I'm going to be using my go-to. It is by the Balm. It's this mini nude eyeshadow. This is in the color Fit. And you can see how much I love this because it's barely there. Okay, it's almost done. I'm gonna need another one soon. This brush is by Real Techniques, which you can find at like a drugstore like Walgreens. It comes in a pack, and again, this is, I believe, the eyeshadow brush. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna dip it into my eyeshadow. Try to get as much as I can. I'm gonna start in the inner corner and blend outward. So I'm gonna place the color in the corner and blend outward. And with this color, you want to go about 3/4 in, just to where it starts to meet the brown that we use in the outer corner of our lid. Just build until you get the color that you want. And we're going to go ahead and do the same again on the other side. It's just like, you know, when you're solving for X, if you divide on one side, you got to divide on the other side, bro. And we thought that we weren't going to use anything that we learned in math. Here we go. Here it is right here. Proof. Stay in school, kids. And just like that, we are done with the eyes. You can go ahead and go in and deepen the V if you'd like. If you want more of like a cat eye look, you can deepen it just by making the V on the bottom of your lid a little bit more pronounced. The next part is a liner. I love a cat eye. I love a winged liner. You will never catch me without a wing. It's just, I'm trying to go places, okay? I'm trying to go places in life, and that requires some wings, okay? I'm gonna be using the NYX That's the Point eyeliner in Hella Fine, because duh. This, I love the tip of it because it's so sharp. Look at how thin that is. Like, it gets the perfect wing. I always have to hold my face, which is probably not good for your skin, but we're gonna do it anyway. So I always start with the right eye, and I start at the inner corner of the right eye. I hold the outer, just outside the outer V of the outer corner of my eye, and I just put a little bit and go into the inner corner. You want to stay as close to the lash line as possible. Then I stop about halfway into my eye, and I go out and I start to draw the V that I want. And I just follow kind of that V that we created. I just make sure that it goes off in the direction that I want it to go. You want your wing to emphasize the shape of your eye, and for my eye shape, I like a lower wing that comes out a little longer. So I start at the point right where I want it to end and just have it meet my eyelid. So just about there. See that? It's a little longer than your typical wing. And then I just start to build on it to create that heavier, it should go from heavy to light. So you want to just deepen it as you go closer to your eye. And just have that meet the point that you stopped earlier. Once you have the overall shape of your liner, you want to go in and just, you can deepen it, you can make it a little heavier, you can just make sure that, you know, it's a straight line. And of course, you want to fill in all of the missing parts. And if they don't match perfectly, that's okay, because again, we're going to go in and clean it up. But they should look pretty similar. In addition to not wearing foundation, I am also not a lash girl. So I do have a trick for those of us who do not have lashes. I am a double lash girl. So the first mascara that I'm going to be using is by Mally. This is a great brush because it really like separates the lashes, and I don't have any lashes, so I need all the separation and volume I can get. So I go in and I just start at the bottom and just shimmy my way up. Really get in that corner. The next mascara is going to be the e.l.f. 3-in-1 mascara. And this one has like even harder bristles, and this is great to really elongate what I already added. In true form, I got some mascara on my eyelid. So I'm just going to go back in with that brown, and I'm just going to blend that out. So it's gone. Boom. Eyes finito. Second most important part of the face is the highlight and conceal. I don't use my concealer as a concealer necessarily because I'm not going to add foundation on top of it, but I will use it as a highlight for under eye. So I do wear glasses, and I don't sleep that much, and I have a low iron, so I do have pretty dark under eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to change that right now. So I just apply the concealer directly to my face. Again, we already applied our primer, so we're good to go. And just in kind of an angled way. I'm also going to take it down the center of my nose, just literally in the center. and on the forehead. Right in the Cupid's bow, just a tiny bit. And then around my mouth. Looks like I drew ancient symbols on my face. So cute. And then we're going to, again, blend for our lives. So you want to maintain kind of the same shape that we drew in, but we just want to blend that out. So I'm going to start under my eye. Again, I always start on the right side. I don't know if it's because I'm right-handed. But I'm going to take that, blend under that wing. You can use this opportunity to also clean up your wing if you made any mistakes. Or if you have any eyeshadow that kind of found its way onto your cheek. And get all up in. I do take my concealer all the way under my eye. You gotta make sure they're like as even as possible. You don't want one side to be brighter than the other. And then you're going to just blend. Take whatever excess is on the sponge right now and use that to help you blend this line downward. And you want to stay in the center of your nose and have it all meet the Cupid's bow, whatever you put at your Cupid's bow. And you want to do the same upward and into your forehead. And your forehead, you're going to go out. Well, I have a big forehead, so I'm going to go out into the center and then outward motion, outward direction. And then I'm going to blend out what's around my mouth as well. Now that we've highlighted our face, the opposite of contouring is highlighting. So we've added the light into our face, but now we want to add the contrast or the darkness back into our face. So usually people would do this after using a foundation that matched the color of their skin and highlighting with the concealer. They would darken it by adding a contour color. But for the sake of this routine, for my go-to routine, I just use my MAC Studio Fix foundation in the color that is right for my skin tone, which is NW45. This is a judgment-free zone. I just want to remind you guys. So when I show you this, I'm a little bit on the, frugal side. So I like to use things until they're completely finished. So I'm still rocking with this, okay? Now, for this part, because I don't set my concealer, I know. You can set your concealer if you want to. You can bake. I don't do that. I'm going to take my Real Technique sculpting brush. I like to use an angled brush for this because I feel like it gives me the contour effect. And this is pretty dense, so it picks up the product really well. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to get as much product as I can on all sides. I want to get it on the entire brush. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to basically put it everywhere that the concealer is not and use it to blend out the concealer as well. So I always start on my right cheek, right under the concealer, right on my cheekbone. And go downward. And you want to go a little bit past your jawline because again, we don't want our face and our neck to be two different colors. That ain't it, sis. That ain't cute. So just keep blending. You can already see the difference between this side and this side. This side just looks like a face and this side looks like you ain't done yet, sis. And you can see that bringing the concealer down just really helps carve out the apples of my cheeks, helps give my face some shape and dimension. Gonna do the same on the other side. Don't ask me why I went upward first. Then to the forehead, since I do have a forehead, I got some space up there. I want to just kind of carve it out. Make the focus into the center so that it seems a little bit smaller, okay? And you do want to go like to your hairline so that when you are styling your hair, you're not having discrepancies in color right at the hairline. And then for the nose, since you want it to be a little bit more precise, I am going to use a different brush. I'm going to use my Real Techniques setting brush. So this is what you would use to like set your concealer under your eye. I'm actually going to use this to carve out my nose. And I just use the same NW45 foundation. And I start on the side and just do like an angle right around the bridge of my nose. And go upward and right into the pocket of my eye. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just blending that concealer, but also creating a shape for my nose. I do sometimes take that down to blend in the concealer on the side. And you can just make your nose as carved out as you want it to be just by adding more. And all you're doing is playing with the light, really. Only 2 more steps. Next thing I'm going to do is add blush. I'm going to be using Pandora's Face blush in pink Carnation. Looks like this, really pretty pink. And just swirl that in. I'm using the Real Techniques brush. I believe this is a blush brush. And I just swirl, blow, or tap any excess off. And then I start right here, right outside, right along this angle of my cheekbone, right outside, and bring it in swirling motions. Last but certainly not least, the most important step of the entire face, other than eyebrows, is highlight. Now, some people don't wear highlight during the day, but again, this is my everyday go-to church, whatever look, and I always wear highlight. And my favorite highlight at the moment is the Maybelline Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlight in Molten Gold. So I'm going to take my Beauty Blender, and this time I'm going to use the opposite end. So I'm going to use the wider end. I'm going to squeeze it to make it kind of like a rectangle, or just flatten it, and I'm going to dip that into I'm going to rub it actually into the highlight. So I just rub that till I have a good amount on, and I'm just going to apply it onto my cheekbone right above the blush at an angle. So just tap 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 that onto my face, and I just go up a little bit past the wing. Again, going up slightly past the wing. And if you mess up a little bit, you find that your highlight is a little too wide, you can take the other end where you have your concealer, clean it up. And then if you find that it's too wide on the bottom, you can take your blush brush and just add a little bit more product. Boom. And then last looks, you just make sure that everything is blended. Your neck and your face are the same color. Bam. We are finito. Now, during the winter months, since I do have dry skin, I do spray my face. I use the Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray, but since it is summertime, skin out season, I just let the sun and the heat do its thing and really let the heat kind of melt my face, melt all the products together and melt them into my face. But that is it. Quick and simple. Pretty simple makeup routine for my go-to favorite look. If you'd like for this look, you can definitely add lipstick, you can add liner, you can add lip gloss, whatever. I prefer the natural color of my lips, so I just use chapstick or Vaseline. But I hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial. If you like the idea of doing makeup, beauty related, skincare, hair care videos on Mondays, please comment down below and let me know, and give this video a thumbs up. I will list all of the products used in this video down below in the description box. And of course, I will leave a link to the Crayon Case Box of Crayons eyeshadow palette for you guys. Again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. As always, whether you are NC30 or NW45, you are and always will be a goddess. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? Subscribe. Bye.